Hello, it's Gus. Yes, now in my video, I'll try to comment what I do. It's need more work, but I think for you, it's a bit better. In this video, I'll show you how to install Methylene in your PS2 Slim. We'll start with the most difficult step, unsoldering the PS5 from both controller ports so that we can detect the connection of a wired controller. I use a desoldering gun for ease of use, but you can also use braid or a desoldering pump. After desoldering, check that the pin connection between the motherboard is undone. We use a multimeter in amateur mode with a beep, inserting it into the 5 holes in the connector or center hole to check this. The connection must be broken between the 3v3 and this connector. Here, for example, the connection is still good, but you need to desolder it again. In this case, the connection is broken and you can move on to the next step. The next step is optional. If you have the equipment, I'll remove the solder to cut the pins as short as possible, to lay methylene as flat as possible. It cut off the pins of the memory card connector, so as to lay the methylene as flat as possible. Then redo the solder to make them flatter. This is optional, and if you don't do it, it won't stop methylene from working. Another optional step, but recommended, I'm going to apply UV paste to isolate and prevent the desoldering detection pins from coming back into contact with the motherboard. I invite you to be more meticulous than me on the application. My UV paste application is not clean, a clean off camera to reduce the quantity. Then used a UV lamp to cure the UV paste. When this is done, you can retest the continuity as previously demonstrated. Highly recommended, but still optional step is to move a certain capacitor placed in the path of methylene's installation. in solder the capacitor, paying attention to its polarity, and resolder it so that it's no longer below methylene, using a wire to connect it at the part. Another optional step is soldering the buzzer, which is the one offered as an option with methylene. You can just as easily use a buzzer from an old computer and use wires to install it. If you have the basic version of methylene or the standalone version, here's how to easily solder the ESP32 to methylene. Be sure to flash the ESP32 before installing it. I advise you to point and align as I do in the video to ensure that the alignment is correct. If you're comfortable with drag and drop soldering, you can do it this way. Otherwise, it's just as well to make connection after connection. Note that soldering under the ESP32 is not required, as this is a ground pad and is already provided by the connections you've just made. Still optional, you can apply Kapton tape to the back of Methylene as shown. Then drill a hole with the pin to limit any connection to the motherboard. Once the preparation work is complete, you can solder Methylene directly to the motherboard. Use pliers to reasonably press Methylene onto the motherboard and make a clean solder joint. I'll run a few additional continuity tests to make sure nothing has moved. You still need to solder a wire to the reset point on the motherboard. Then connect the power supply from the console's main fuse to ensure a permanent power supply. Here I use an alternative point to shorten the wire. The easiest point is here. Installation is now complete. All that's left to do is test and plug in your console before reassembling it. When you plug in the power cable, an LED should flash rapidly. This is normal. Start up your console normally. The LED should flash slowly if the installation is correct. This means that the console is waiting for a controller to appear. Prepare a dual shot 4 controller. Is, for example, hold down the PlayStation button and the share button. The LED on your controller should blink rapidly, and the LED on Methylene should become steady. To switch off your console remotely, you can do so by holding down L2 plus R2 plus Croix, the key on the left hand side of your controller.